The episode begins with our main character, Yan-jae, asking his boss for early leave from work, using his wife's birthday as an excuse. His boss, curious about the celebration, learns from Yan-jae that there's actually no planned event. After getting permission to leave, Yan-jae's co-workers gossip about him, noticing a change in his behavior and speculating that something significant might have happened to him. Their conversation gets interrupted by their boss, who scolds them for gossiping behind people's backs. Later, Yan-jae visits a flower shop and a beef shop, where the shopkeepers assume he's buying things for his wife's birthday. Yan-jae confirms it and purchases both items. When he gets home, he sets up a dinner table with flowers and a teddy bear. While having dinner, he talks to a photograph of his wife, apologizing for the imperfect dinner and his absence on this special day. Later, in his bedroom, Yan-jae writes in his diary. He tells his wife about coming home early and preparing dinner, expressing regret over the tasteless soup he made. He mentions buying flowers for his wife and a teddy bear for their daughter, Nina. Yan-jae worries about Nina's well-being and whether she liked the gift. Memories of their past overwhelm him, and he admits how much he longs to see and hear his wife again. Overwhelmed by emotions, he breaks down and cries. To his surprise, he discovers that all his previous diary entries have vanished, replaced by a message assuring him that he can revisit them in the future. Meanwhile, Yan-jae starts noticing entries disappearing from his journal and new ones taking their place. Although he considers throwing the journal away, he hesitates because of the accuracy of past entries coming true. One entry mentions his unexpected entry into a parallel universe on September 18th at 10 p.m., making him feel nervous and uncertain. Desperate to reunite with his wife and daughter, Yan-jae eagerly waits until 10 p.m. on the specified day. Suddenly, after 10, he finds himself in a mysterious forest, confirming the truthfulness of the journal's predictions. As he looks around, he realizes he's part of a game with other participants, but the reason behind it remains unknown. They are asked to choose weapons for upcoming challenges, and despite Yan-jae's intention to pick a gun, he ends up with a sword, just like many others who receive different weapons than intended. When they receive a warning about approaching zombies, their initial doubts turn into fear when the undead creatures appear. Remembering the details from his journal, Yan-jae gathers the courage to fight back against the zombies, realizing that this game is actually a real-life survival scenario. With each zombie kill, he earns points, further confirming the accuracy of his journal's predictions and getting closer to reuniting with his wife and daughter. While the journal emphasizes the importance of magic, Yan-jae focuses on using his physical strength, determined to overcome the challenges ahead. In the next scene, a young girl named Young approaches Yan-jae and asks if she can join him. However, Yan-jae refuses, criticizing her for not actively participating in battles and accusing her of being someone who relies on others. He straightforwardly states that he doesn't have time to waste on people like her. On the third day after the tutorial, someone in their group discovers a dungeon. Curious, Yan-jae decides to follow them, but upon seeing the monsters inside, he realizes they are much stronger than the zombies they faced before. Yan-jae knows that if he entered the dungeon right away, he would probably die. But he realizes that those who survive the dungeons become much stronger compared to others. This motivates him to make a brave decision and enter the dungeon alone. Inside, he fights and defeats a powerful creature called a flesh-eating crawler, earning himself 10 points, which is a lot more than what he got from killing zombies. As he goes deeper into the dungeon, Yan-jae encounters a group of moss ants. Individually, they may not be strong, but together, they pose a threat. However, Yan-jae skillfully defeats them and earns 5 more points. He also discovers a rare skill, which is impressive at this stage of the tutorial. Yan-jae wonders about the origin of his journal and if it was written by his future self, holding more secrets. Later, the achievement points of all the players are shown on a screen, and Yan-jae realizes he is in second place. This frustrates him, and he wants to know who the first-place player, Yan-jae, is. Yura overhears this and tells Do-hyung about Yan-jae's accomplishments, making Do-hyung angry. Do-hyung becomes curious about Yan-jae's identity. Yura approaches Do-hyung and proposes a deal. She will reveal Yan-jae's location if Do-hyung agrees to let her kill a man he planned to target. Do-hyung reluctantly agrees, allowing Yura to carry out the killing. Meanwhile, Yan-jae keeps exploring the dungeon. He realizes that all the monsters have similar characteristics and concludes that the Queen Masan must be somewhere nearby. Yanjay uses his stat points to obtain bread as bait and starts eliminating monsters to find the queen. With his increased strength, the task becomes easier. Yanjay is determined to get a D-ranked skill, which he can obtain by killing the queen. Eventually, he finds and defeats the queen. On the other hand, Yura, Do-hyung, and the others head towards the dungeon. Do-hyung doubts the purpose of the place, thinking it's like a maze. Yura assures him that there must be a reason for them being there and that their time is not being wasted. Do-hyung prefers hunting humans, thinking it's more valuable than exploring the dungeon. He plans to kill Yanjay and take half of his points to become the top player on the leaderboard. After killing the queen, Yanji's stats improve significantly, and he gains a new magic-related skill. He realizes that strength in this world depends on three things: stats, skills, and items. As Yanjay goes further into the dungeon, he finds a box with valuable items. Meanwhile, Do-hyung notices more dead ants, which means they are getting closer to their destination. To their surprise, they meet Yanjay, who is in excellent shape and standing calmly. Yo-jae, who expected them to arrive the next day according to the journal, suspects that Yura might have been following him and wonders if his actions have changed the future described in the journal. Yanjay realizes that he can't rely solely on the journal's predictions anymore and decides to take a more active approach. Do is amazed by Yanji's ability to defeat monsters without getting tired and realizes that Yanjay is a bigger threat than they initially thought. When Yanjay asks Do-hyung for a way to leave, Do-hyung simply allows him to go. Yura questions Do-hyung's decision, but he admits that Yanjay is stronger and regrets focusing too much on earning achievement points. Determined to catch up to Yanjay and become as strong as him, Do-hyung starts eliminating the people who came with Yanjay and collecting their points. Meanwhile, an announcement is made that Stage 2 is ending and only 100 participants will move on to the next stage. Eventually, all the other participants get eliminated, and the remaining ones are transferred to a new level where they encounter unfamiliar faces. They are presented with 3 doors: a red door that can accommodate 10 people but is the most challenging, a blue door that can accommodate 5 people and is less difficult, and a white door where one person can complete the tutorial alone. Contrary to expectations, Yanjay is asked to choose a door based on his achievement points, adding a new twist to his journey. Yanjay surprises everyone by choosing the red door, which confuses the crowd. Other players make fun of Yanjay for his choice and mockingly say the blue door would have been better. Then, an announcement reveals that one person picked white, 5 picked blue, and only 1 picked red. This means that the rest of the people have to enter the red door within 10 minutes. It is also mentioned that anyone left outside the door when time is up will die. Upon hearing this, everyone hurries to choose a door for themselves. Next, Yanjay finds himself in an empty village and meets Yoongi and Youngyu. Yanjay asks Youngyu about the blood on him and wonders if he killed someone to get there. Youngyu is confused, but Yanjay comforts him, saying it's better to be there than to be a coward or an idiot. An announcement explains the rules of the tutorial. It lasts for 10 days, monsters will appear twice a day at unpredictable times, and if the boulders in the town center are destroyed, they fail. Yanjay realizes that it's a defense mission and explains that they mention a safe zone outside the village to discourage teamwork. He suggests they check the boulders first, but warns that it won't be easy. Yanjay raises the important question of whether they should face the monsters or run away from them. Yoongi expresses her doubts about their chances of survival, especially since they struggled even with a group of 10 people. Yanjay explains that the challenge might be intentionally designed in the rules. He assumes that both Yoongi and Youngyu are inclined to choose fleeing as their strategy. However, Yanjay proposes that staying together gives them a better chance, emphasizing the advantage of strength in numbers. While discussing, they come across the boulders, a crucial objective in the round. Yanjay explains why he chose the red door, mentioning that fewer participants mean more opportunities to defeat monsters and increase their stats. He says that people who survive the red door become much stronger. While they are talking, monsters suddenly attack them, and they have to fight back. Yanj uses his abilities skillfully to handle difficult situations. After the battle, Yanga is concerned about any injuries their group might have. Jungyu tells him that Yunji is hurt. Youngjae quickly tends to her wound and assures her that she will recover with some rest. During their conversation, they realize that Angie is missing, and this worries them. Yeonjae and Jungyu search for Yunji but can't find her, so they think she must have run away. Youngyu wonders why she would leave, and Yeonjae explains that her injuries and fear might have made her act without thinking. Jungyu feels hopeless, but Youngjae encourages him to stay positive and says that worrying won't change anything. They talk about how important it is to protect the boulders and what might happen if they fail. Then, Youngjae suggests a strategy. Jungju will fight 10 monsters while he takes on a larger group. They decide to fight together, and as they battle, their abilities improve. Youngyu even learns a new skill. Yeonj thinks about his choice to go through the red door and believes it was the right decision. Meanwhile, Yunji eats some bread and thinks that running away was the right thing to do since Yeonjae and Youngyu seem to be doing well without her. She hopes they survive so she won't have to go back to the village. As time passes, Jungyu comments on how the challenges are getting harder, and he finds it hard to believe what they're going through. Yeonjae takes care of Youngyu's wound and assures him that they will survive, reminding him of their loved ones waiting for them. Yohanyu realizes that he can't die because it would affect his family. Yeonjae promises to protect Jungyu, and, even though Youngyu initially didn't take it seriously, he finds comfort in Yeon's determination. On the 10th day, Jungyu wonders why there are no monsters around. Yeonjae shares his worry and has a bad feeling about the situation. Jungju suggests that the monsters might be going easy on them, but Yeonjae playfully teases him, saying there might be even more monsters. Youngyu is surprised that Angie hasn't returned on the last day, and Yeonjae thinks she might be too embarrassed to come back. Suddenly, the boulder starts shaking, surprising both Youngjae and Youngyu. They come face to face with the boss monster, the Demon Lich. Youngyu is scared, and Yeonjae asks for his opinion on what they should do. Yeonjae tells Youngyu to fight the other monsters while he confronts the Lich himself. Yeonjae battles the powerful Lich, while Youngyu fights bravely against the other monsters. Yeonjae takes a moment to rest and realizes that the Lich's wounds have healed. Yunji, who was watching from a distance, is also surprised by this turn of events. She thought Yeonjae and Youngyu would die, but they are stronger than she thought. Yeonjae is puzzled by the Lich's ability to heal itself. Even though he inflicts wounds, the Lich stays alive and seems invincible. Yeonjae looks for a weakness and decides to target the Lich's tail, but it keeps regenerating. He then aims for the Lich's head and successfully makes it explode, but the Lich counterattacks and hurts Yeonjae again. This time, Yeonj notices a crystal in the Lich's head and removes it, causing the Lich and all the skeletons around to die. An announcement declares the mission as completed. Youngyu rushes to Yeonjae, thinking he might be dead, but Yeonjae assures him that he's alive. Jungyu becomes emotional and starts crying, celebrating their victory. Unexpectedly, Yunji appears and attacks Youngyu, claiming it's self-defense and that she needs to kill 2 of them for achievement points. Yeonjae questions her motives, and just as she is about to harm Youngyu more, Yeonj gets up and uses his skill to swiftly eliminate Yunji. Yeonjae then goes to Jungyu and promises not to let him die. Yeonji suggests that Youngyu avoid situations where he would need the elixir again and walks away. Youngyu feels grateful and emotional. Youngyu tells Yeonjae that he understands how it feels to take someone's life and asks if Yeonjae feels as awful as he does. An announcement declares the end of Stage 3, and Yeonjae receives a bonus for defeating the Lich Zahar's Shackle, which makes him stronger. They are instructed to enter a door that used to have a boulder blocking it and proceed to the next tutorial. They enter together while the other survivors, including Juho, who made fun of Yeonji's door choice earlier, enter through the exit door. They realize Juho hasn't been participating while they were getting stronger because Stage 4 begins for everyone. They meet up with the other survivors, Do-hyung and Yura included, and Yeonjae notices that Do-hyung and Yura may have taken a different path. They learn the rules for Stage 4, which is a team task where they need to form teams and earn points by defeating monsters. The team with the most points moves on to the final tutorial. Individual points, stats, and items are obtained by defeating monsters behind a black door. The top 10 point holders, even from losing teams, go to the final tutorial. Yanjay, Youngyu, and Juho enter a white door and face stronger monsters in a forest. Yanjay explains the benefits of his shackle, which saves magic and improves his skills. They defeat more monsters and finish the first day of Stage 4. Individual points are calculated, with Yanjay in first place, Do-hyung in second, and Youngyu in third. They also calculate the team's collective points and realize that Juho and Youngyu are the only ones contributing. However, they are surprised to learn that the other teams have already collected a lot of points. Juho is rewarded for his achievements and presents a survival strategy to the group, but Do-hyung and Yura mock Yanjay's suggestion of focusing on team points. Yanjay remains calm and explains the uncertainty of the final tutorial, suggesting individual point goals. They agree on aiming for 1,000 points per day, with Yanjay collecting twice as much. Yanjay challenges Do-hyung, questioning his willingness to sacrifice the team's well-being. Do-hyung reveals his priority is saving his team, even if it means the opposing team suffers. Yanjay admits his self-interest in pursuing rewards and urges Do-hyung to meet his quota quickly. They battle monsters to earn individual points, with Yanjay impressing everyone with his skills. Juho questions Yanjay's ultimate goal, suspecting it goes beyond survival. They spot a valuable golden goblin and start chasing it. The competitors discuss the importance of winning a top 10 position. Yanjay and Youngyu chase the goblin but give up when they realize it will take them deeper into the dangerous forest. They decide to return for now and resume their pursuit the next day. However, they find out that the others didn't follow the agreement they made. Yanjay confronts them, and Do-hyung argues and challenges him to a fight. Youngyu intervenes, reminding them that they shouldn't force others. Juho blames them for breaking the agreement. Yanjay walks away in frustration, and Do-hyung questions why Youngyu stopped him, believing that killing Yanjay is the only way for everyone to survive. Youngyu explains that the others are on Yanjay's side, and they shouldn't cause a scene. Do-hyung suggests taking things step by step to get rid of Yanjay's influence. Later, Youngyu asks Yanjay about his plan and expresses concern about forcing others to follow. Yanjay reveals that he read in the journal that 6 of them will go missing and be killed for their coins, and he can't allow it. Youngyu realizes that Yanjay wants to protect fellow survivors along with killing monsters. On the third day of the tutorial, Yanjay and Youngyu continue pursuing the golden orb despite challenges. Youngyu questions their determination, but Yanjay insists they can't give up and reveals he has a plan. They find the orb, but it escapes after Yanjay dislodges it from a tree and gets dust in his eyes. They encounter a powerful ogre, and Yanjay seizes the opportunity to attack the orb when it lowers its guard in front of the ogre. Meanwhile, another group of competitors searches for Yanjay, suspecting he may be going deeper into the forest with higher-ranked participants. They decide to take the risk and enhance their own strength by venturing further into the forest. Suddenly, they are ambushed by Do-hyung and his followers. One of the competitors offers his coins to save his own life, but Do-hyung refuses because he wants their coins and achievements. Youngyu comes to the scene and scolds them, saying they're worthless. Youngjae, not surprised by what's happening, admits he suspected Do-hyung of killing his teammates. Later, Youngjae finds the tears of the goddess with the belongings of the deceased golden orb. Jungyu wants to take some items too, and Youngjae agrees, but asks him to leave some for himself. Youngyu compliments Youngjae for being considerate. Youngjae drinks a potion that boosts his magical abilities by 20%. Youngyu impresses Youngjae with a skill he learned from a book. Youngjae explains why he's so determined to get the golden orb, talking about the importance of skills and items. Youngyu senses trouble and suggests they leave the area, leaving Young with unanswered questions. In another scene, Do-hyung threatens innocent people, making Youngyu angry. Juho defends their actions, saying it's necessary for survival. Youngjae steps in when Do-hyung is about to harm a girl. He questions Do-hyung's bravery and suggests it comes from having something valuable but only one life. In response, Do-hyung orders his allies to attack. However, to everyone's surprise, Youngjae easily defeats Do-hyung and the others. The group is amazed by Youngjae's sudden display of power. Youngjae finally defeats Do-hyung and demands remorse for his actions. But when Do-young refuses, Young-jae beheads him. Meanwhile, Jungju thinks about attacking Yura, but she claims she was forced to do bad things. Young-jae kills Yura, saying there are no excuses for taking a life. He warns Young-yu to be careful and explains he can't protect him anymore. Young-jae advises Young-yu to be cautious, as he might face a similar fate. Then Young-jae leaves, leaving Young-yu unsure of what to do next. On the other hand, Juho runs away from enemies and begs for mercy. But he encounters a terrifying ogre and realizes he can't beat it. Just as Juho is about to run away, Young-jae shows up, kills the ogre, and confronts him while trembling with fear. Juho pleads for forgiveness, saying he lost control and promising not to do it again. Young-jae rejects his plea, saying begging won't change anything, and he intends to kill Juho. Young-jae coldly takes Juho's life. When Young-jae returns, Young-yu eagerly asks if they eliminated their final target. Young-jae confirms their success, and Jungju worries about Young-jae's well-being. Young-jae offers his earned coins to Young-yu, but when he declines, feeling uneasy about accepting them, Yuan-jae understands his hesitation but emphasizes the importance of seizing every advantage in their uncertain future. Later, the remaining competitors talk about Young-jae and Young-yu, recognizing their strength against higher-ranked opponents. They know they'll face challenges in the upcoming team match because of their low points and fewer team members. However, Young-jae assures them they can still win and overcome the point difference. When asked about his plan, Young-jae advises the others to focus on earning points as agreed and trusts himself and Young-yu with the strategic planning, showing confidence in their abilities. The next day, Young-yu asks Young-jae about their plan, wondering if they have to fight monsters all day. Later, Young-jae invites Jungju to join him in the next challenge, but Jungju suggests taking a break after their 10-hour battle. Young-jae insists they continue, stressing the regret of losing by a small margin. The fourth stage ends, and Young-yu excitedly asks Young-jae about their performance. Young-jae tells them to wait for the results. When the results are announced, Young-jae and Young-yu find out they achieved the top 2 positions individually and as a team. They narrowly won the team task, making them joyful. Jungju celebrates, and Young-jae joins in with laughter. Suddenly, something unexpected happens, and Young-jae tells Young-yu they'll meet again later, leaving him confused. Young-jae is then transported to a new location and sees a significant increase in his stats by 4 points. He feels their hard work was worth it. An announcement allows Young-jae to use his collected coins to choose a reward. With 162 coins, he picks a skill called Zahar's Magic Source because it's similar to an item he already has. A door appears, and Young-jae makes a determined promise to conquer whatever lies beyond it. Next, Young-jae walks through the door and is surprised to see people instead of monsters. Someone approaches him and asks about his identity and where he comes from. The soldiers, unaware of Young-jae's background, ask for his help in defending the castle from the cursed undead. Confused but willing to assist, Young-jae fights alongside them until sunrise, realizing that the undead are weak and slow because of their poisonous nature. After the battle, Max, the castle commander, thanks Young-jae and asks why he's there. Young-jae struggles to answer but promises not to be a burden. Max asks Young-jae to protect the castle for 10 days until help arrives. Young-jae finds it suspiciously easy, considering it's an S-rank task, and wonders if there's more to it. Despite Young-jae's doubts, Max insists and offers rewards. Young-jae agrees but asks for some time to investigate. However, during another undead attack, Young-jae is missing at first, making Max think he ran away and regret his expectations. Soldiers report seeing Young-jae fighting the undead, and Max rushes to find him. Young-jae reveals to Max that a group of summoners is causing the continuous return of the undead. He admits he should have killed them earlier but was prevented by Rain. Max acknowledges this information. Young-jae suggests Max and his companions don't have to come along, but Max insists they can't ask an outsider to shoulder such responsibility. He urges Young-jae to help them end this before nightfall, mentioning the castle's skilled men. Young-jae realizes he doesn't know what awaits them in this S-rank tutorial, but he can't protect them. However, he decides to focus on completing it. Young-jae leads the way to the summoners, who reveal they can't be touched and planned to let the group leave until nightfall, when the undead will attack. Yanjay strikes the bond and reveals he's not an ordinary human. He commands the others to attack, confused about the summoner's actions during the day. Suddenly, a giant named Balrog appears and questions the summoners. Balrog underestimates Yanjay, leaving him unsure if he can win. The monster teleports, causing fear, but Yanjay strikes back with half his power, having some effect. Yanjay prepares for another attack as Balrog interrogates him. Yanjay refuses to give more information, angering the monster, who tries to strike him with an impossible-to-dodge attack. In the next scene, Yanjay fights Balrog alone while the troops struggle against other monsters. Yanjay blocks the monster's attacks despite being thrown around. Even when Balrog breaks Yanjay's sword, he continues to defend himself. Balrog underestimates Yanjay's magical powers, which works to Yanjay's advantage. Yanjay activates his magic reserve ring, using his stored magic power. He strikes Balrog's neck, beheading the monster successfully. The troops arrive and congratulate Yanjay for defeating Balrog alone. However, Balrog remains alive and calls Yanjay a puppet, promising to meet again. Yanjay stabs Balrog to end his suffering. Yanjay receives 200,000 achievement points and a task completion badge. Yanjay prepares to leave, but the group's leader tries to offer a reward. Yanjay declines, in a hurry to reunite with his wife and daughter. He finds himself in front of a door, hoping for a reunion. Inside a temple-like place, Yanjay meets Arian, who asks about his identity and the bracelet. Arian claims to be the servant of Lord Zahar, and he offers Yanjay a unique skill if he endures the Lord's power. Yanjay agrees, experiencing intense pain. Yanjay briefly loses consciousness but has a vision of his family, inspiring him to see them again. He wakes up determined. Arian reveals that he placed the Lord's heart temporarily within Yanjay as a gift for clearing the S-rank tutorial. The scene shifts to Melon, where Yanjay meets unfamiliar people. Yunge reunites with Yanjay, and they attend a gathering led by Walker Elbin. Walker explains that Lois created a transparent wall for their safety because dangerous creatures reside on the other side. They head toward Melon, learning that Walker and others have been there for 7 years. Yanjay tries to read his mysterious diary but is interrupted by Yunge. Later that night, Yanjay attempts to read the diary again, hoping to find information about the village and the angels and demons beyond the mountain. Yanjay feels disappointed as he searches but doesn't find anything. Suddenly, there's a knock on the door, and someone calls out Yanjay's name. Yanjay gets scared and grabs his sword, then opens the door carefully. It's Dean, a member of the Bram clan, standing there. Dean asks Yanjay to join their clan, but Yanjay says no and wonders how they found him. Dean says their clan looks for talented newcomers and were impressed by Yanjay's skills in the tutorial. But Yanjay remembers the warnings in his diary about the dishonest Bram clan. They cheat newbies and leave them behind. Keeping this in mind, Yanjay rejects the offer and tells Young about the bad clan.